So in a new video today, we're going to take a look at the new move for Giratina. We have now the move Shadow Force in the game. Shadow Force is a very horrible move, to be honest. It is a 90 energy for 120 damage. This is one of the worst moves that is in the game, but it's still a little bit better than Shadow Sneak. At least for most cases, I think it's definitely the preferred move, as you're going to see later on during this video as well. It had some actually pretty nice niches, but also I used it a ton of times at places where I shouldn't use it, just so I can showcase it to you. Yeah, so I didn't play all series here. I'm already Legend as well. If you didn't see, I streamed it today on YouTube as well. How I had Legend with also the team that I showcased, like also today basically, or yesterday, depends on when you watch it, with the Bastion. But let's take a look here at the Giratina. Giratina is an interesting one. Giratina is a very bulky one which helps you out a lot, especially in the Ultra League and the Master League. But sadly in this game we just got hardwall, to be honest, so like this doesn't really count. I cannot really go for the cool move here either. But Giratina itself has always the issue that basically has two moves that you really want to play. It's Shadow Claw or Dragon Breath, and then Dragon Claw. And yeah, you don't really have the secondary move. There is Ancient Power, which I think is actually still better than Shadow Force. I think Ancient Power is better than Shadow Force, but of course if you need some more coverage on your team for steel types, I think now Shadow Force might be better as a secondary charge move. But let's take a look at it anyway. We see a Trevenant in the lead here, which is going to be a pretty okay-ish lead. I think you win this in a 2-shield basically every time. You can go for one Dragon Claw, you will be able to get this thing low enough that you will be able to farm them down. I think this is also the first game where we can see the animation of this move, which is going to be very fun. Like, honestly, can't wait to show you the animation for this move. It looks like the best move that we ever had in Pokemon Go, to be honest. Kinda even beats Poltergeist. They at least give, like, even though the moves are horrible, at least they give them some cool animations. You cannot really say anything against this one. We will be able to farm down this Trevenant. We see the Registeel here, but I was like, I should have not really thrown here. I'm just gonna keep my energy. I can still use it later. I have 2 decent answers against Registeel in the back. Like, why would I want to throw here? And we see the Swampert coming in. I kind of have to go for my charge move here in time, because they're most likely going to shield up anyway. And here's the thing. Dragon Claw is the better move compared to the Shadow Force there. So if I would go for Dragon Claw, I would do more damage, but it is a showcase for Shadow Force. So let's take a look at this move and look at this animation. It just cracks something, goes under the map, and then flies through the opponent. We're going to have this animation a ton of more times still in this video, so I can't wait to show it to you again. But yeah, like, this is just hilarious. We will be able to see now a Registeel from the opponent. We can go for 2 moves here, but I don't think we're going to be able to win this game anymore, because Sacred Sword sadly is not enough. But again, we most likely would have been able to win this if we just played it normally. But we wanted to take a look at the move, right? We will see the Focus Blast coming through here. We're going to go down, but we actually have some wins as well. Let's see, the next game we're going to see the opponent here, Giratina against Warrain. Horrible lead. We swap out into our Swampert. Usually our say swap here would be the Cobalion, but Swampert is a little bit better, of course, than that. We still have an answer in the back. We see the Cresselia coming in, and what you know already, Cresselia basically means that I'm going to be able to get to another Shadow Force, because I will be able to farm this thing down after I go down with my Swampert here, which will allow me to go for another Shadow Force, which will be very hilarious again, because we're going to hit the Warrain with it, and maybe this will flip the match in my favor. We will see. We will be able to tank one Moonblast here anyway. We are such a tanky boy. That's the benefit of having the Giratina. I will be able to farm them all the way down now, and we are the Shadow Force loaded. And of course, we're going to go ahead and go straight for the Shadow Force now. Let's see it again. We go down and we go through the opponent, and we see a Talonflame coming in. And this is the amazing thing about Cobalion and why I like this Pokemon so much. This thing generates energy so fast. It's insane. We can go ahead and go for one move here. We will be able to now reach a Stone Edge as well later on. Let's see what we're going to do here. We go for another bait. They have to kind of shield up anyway. And this bait will get the final shield by the opponent. We can get another fast move through, and we will see them going for their own charge move, which is going to be the Flame Charge. We have to go for our Stone Edge pretty soon here, because we cannot really take another charge move, like another fast move damage from the opponent. But it's fine, as we can still reach one Sacred Sword against the opponent. This should be a good game. Very funny, we won while using Shadow Force, as we see the next opponent here. Of course, Shadow Force will not be really that crazy decent for Giratina. I still think that the best way would have been 80 energy. Like, it still wouldn't be broken, it still would need a ton of energy to get to, and it at least would make the Pokemon a little bit better, or like gives it a little bit more of a different playstyle. Like this, I kind of feel like I'm always in the situation where I rather want to throw the Dragon Claw anyway, because the Shadow Force doesn't really help me at all, and Dragon Claw does a little bit more damage, I think, per energy, so it doesn't really help me too much. We will see here that we actually can still go for one Hydro Cannon against this Crafty. We will be able to farm down with our Giratina, and we're also going to be able to go now for another charge move. But of course, we see the Warring coming in. We can stay in, we can shield it up. I don't know the energy actually. It might have been only the Icicle Spear. I didn't really count the energy. It's a little bit late, to be honest. But we see the Pokemon coming in here, which is the name of Talonflame. Talonflame definitely doesn't like to get hit by one Stone Edge by me, but we can farm up a ton of energy, and we're going to get 3 more fast moves in before we can go for one Stone Edge to knock that thing out. And this will be enough to also get to another move against this Walrein. And at this point of time, you see how much health I still have left on my Giratina, and I'm like all for it. I'm just gonna go for the PM. I'm just gonna go and try to go for the Shadow Force now. I know I can just finish them off. Maybe I don't even get there because of the fast moves. Please let me get there. And they're going to forfeit. How could they? Here against Homeslice Henry. I know that he wants to showcase his Pokemon as well, so I thought we are like memeing here. I actually thought we were memeing here, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go straight for the Shadow Force. I know I can just go for the Dragon Claws, I would be way better off, but he actually shields, like why? And he doesn't even go for the Shadow Force himself. He actually tries to play how you're supposed to play. Kind of disappointing, to be honest, but so be it. I thought we would be memeing here, but I guess I am wrong with this. Kind of sad, to be honest, but yeah, we can still see what we can do here. Definitely going to be an uphill battle, but kind of sad. I make a mistake here. I should have went into my Swampert instead of my Cobalion. It's actually not the biggest mistake though, because Cobalion itself is still pretty decent against Swampert actually. Like even, especially if you have a shield deposit there, because we have like 1 shield less than the opponent, because we literally just memed and went straight for the Poltergeist, I just want to say Poltergeist, Shadow Force. But we're going to be able to now at least get a ton of energy with our Swampert here against this thing, and this will benefit us for the final Pokemon, which is going to be Charmer, the Charmer names of Ninetales, and we have literally no play against this thing anymore. I mean, we still have some play, but yeah, it's a little bit tricky. The thing is, yeah, I know that he's most likely going to try to swap out later on, trying to catch another Hydro Cannon, but I also cannot really risk it, because if I go for one more fast move, or like let it go a little bit, my Swampert is dead, and then I have no chance, and we still had a move start on our Giratina. But I think even then, even if I went for the move on, like even if I went for a swap and went for my move on Giratina, I think the Ninetales still had enough HP to survive on Hydro Cannon, so I don't think there was a way to win this anymore. Of course, I most likely would have won if I just went straight for the Dragon Claw in the beginning, but I am not here to win my matches. Like, of course, we can still try our best to still win some of them, but I am here to showcase Shadow Force, and Shadow Force is all I want to showcase here. After Legend, there's no real reason for you to try hard anyway, so especially if I want to showcase something funny. We see another move coming in here. It's going to be the Sacred Sword. We're going to get hard-walled by this Nidoqueen, but because they go into Nidoqueen, it kind of tells me there's not a lot maybe in the back that would be able to beat my Cobalion otherwise. I will be able to shield this move up. It's going to be the Earth Power. It's going to waste a ton of energy of them, and we will see what we can do here. We see the Stunfisk coming in, and you know already what we're going to do here. We're going to go straight for the Shadow Force. We will be able to tank those Earthquakes pretty easily, and Shadow Force coming through. Let's go through the bottom of the field again and just fly straight through the Stunfisk. Of course, if that was too fast for you, you can also just go back and slow down the video so you can see the animation easier. For this is a double speed up, of course, but very fun animation. Very sad that it's on a Pokemon that doesn't really use it, like gonna use it anyway, that often at least. The only matchup where I would think, okay, maybe they're going to use it there, would be something like the what's it called? Like if you need a nuke in general, but also like against steel types. For example, the Galarian Sunfist, for example, the Registeel. Those are like the only matchups where this move really doesn't make sense. Otherwise, I would actually think that the potential of the boost and also the answering of something like the Articuno or the Talonflame by using Ancient Power might be the better way. I don't think that you really need an Elite TM for this Pokemon if you ever thought of doing this. I don't think that's really necessary. I think the rock coverage actually gives you more potential compared to the 90 energy and shadow, like what shadow? What's it even called? Ghost coverage. So like I wouldn't really go for this. I would stick to Ancient Power if I was you. I wouldn't get an Elite TM and try to get this Pokemon like this, but you do what you want to do, of course. I did just one right and got the first one and just like maxed it, like powered it up for like 2 power-ups and gave him a second charge move, but that's me being stupid. We could go for another Stone Edge actually with our Cobalion, but we get kind of hard-walled here, to be honest. We have the Pidgeot in the lead, which is horrible. We have some lag here against us as well, which is even more horrible. And we, of course, don't really have the best answers for Pidgeot. Especially my lead kind of gets hard-walled by Pidgeot. But also my Pokemon in the deck, Swampert, doesn't do damage with the fast move. So it's going to be a tough one to come back for this final game of the video. It's a little bit of a shorter video because, of course, it's just a meme and I kind of want to go to bed because it's late here. We will see the Feather Dance coming through. I expect this. I can swap into my Swampert and we will be able to go for another Hydro Cannon here. I have to now guess what my opponent wants to try to do here. We will see that they're going to go for a move. I'm going to no shield. I expect it to be the Feather Dance, and it was a Feather Dance. We will see the Cobalion coming in, which allows us to go for an Earthquake, which will nearly knock them out here, but just nearly. We're going to go ahead and shield this move up, I think, because I don't think I would be able to have a great time actually against this thing with my Giratina yet. But after one more Hydro Cannon, we're definitely going to have a great time here because this thing goes down. And we can now go into our Giratina and we can spam those Dragon Claws here. Sadly, I will not go for another Shadow Force. This was already like the gameplay for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tomorrow we're going to take a look at the Halloween Cup. I have some gameplay prepared that I played against viewers before. Where I showcase one really decent team, and I also have a top 10 teams video. So stay tuned for this. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go to sleep and leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.